Welcome back. Another edition of WDEE TV Headline News for this day. It's Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. My name is Michael G. Nastos, your anchor. We have top 5 stories as well as a WDEE TV music report. Another segment on the best jazz CDs of 2014 later on in the cast. Right now, our top story coming from the Saline reporter and writer Amy Bell. Police say the man responsible for a hit-and-run crash in Saline was found less than 2 hours later hiding in a closet. Brian Lara, 29, of Saline, received 2 citations for the crash that happened at about 4:30 p.m. on North Ann Arbor Street at West McKay in Saline. Lara was driving a 2012 black Chevy Impala when he crashed into a 2002 Dodge Caravan driven by a 50-year-old Saline man. Lara did fail to stop and continued through the intersection, colliding with the driver's side of the Caravan, who had the right of way. According to the report, Lara also smelled of intoxicants but denied consuming alcohol before the crash. Lara received a citation for driving while license being suspended and failure to yield. An additional charge of fleeing the scene of a traffic crash where a person is injured will be added at a later date. A charge of operating while intoxicated could not be pursued because the officer could not prove Lara was intoxicated at the time of the crash. More on this story on our local news feeds link on our website at WDEETV.com. You can find a lot of news on that site. Coming up next, the controversy about Ann Arbor deer management.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back to more WDEE TV headline news for this day. My name is Michael G. Nastos, reporting our top 5 headline news stories. This is story number 2 coming from the AnnArbor.com website, and the writer is Ryan Stanton. A new online survey being circulated by the City of Ann Arbor seeks public input on options for managing the local deer population, including lethal and non-lethal methods. But a statement that's repeated multiple times in the survey has some arguing the city appears to be biased in favor of killing the deer. Research concludes that lethal removal measures are most effective for managing a deer population. 3 of the survey questions start out by stating, "I think this is a blatant attempt by the city to produce the results they want, which is to kill deer," said Ann Arbor resident Jerry Schneider. The Humane Society of Huron Valley is among those crying foul, arguing it's inappropriate to include such a leading statement in a survey. "We also complained because they are clearly biased questions that had no professional surveyor writing," said HSHV President Tanya Hilgendorf. She concludes, "We believe there are also compelling studies supporting humane approaches and other evidence that shows that the rebound effect from culling makes it a temporary fix that must be repeated every year." Hilgendorf also said the deer survey is still open through January 2nd, so you can still contribute. The city will be holding a meeting at 7 p.m. tonight at Huron High School to seek public input on the deer issue. Now, I was hit by a deer last Christmas morning, and the good people at State Farm and Whitney's Collision took care of it. I think they should be called and put into a natural habitat, but your opinion is probably as valid as mine. I know a lot of people have been hit by deer in recent years. More on this story on our local news feeds link on our website at WDEETV.com. Coming up next, a deal in the works for selling the former Pub 13 in Ypsilanti. Here we are again with news on your schedule from WDEE We're coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Top 5 stories of the day. This one coming from the Ann Arbor News, written by Tom Perkins. The block of Washington Street north of Michigan Avenue is in the heart of downtown Ypsilanti, but the lights, literally and figuratively, have been out for over 4 years since the former Pub 13 and Savoy nightclubs abruptly closed following a dispute between the building owner and DTE Energy. But the lights could soon be back on. Tyler Weston, who we've had as an interview subject here at WDEE, he is an agent for property. He works for Real Estate One. He said he's working to close a deal with a business that's proposing converting the former Pub 13 at 13 North Washington Street in Ypsilanti into office space. Weston represents the potential buyers. He said he can't provide the company's name until after the closing, which he expects within the next 30 to 60 days, which is pretty normal. It's going to be an awesome addition to the downtown area. It's going to fulfill a lot of our needs, and we're excited, Weston said. Now, no sale price is available, although Pub 13 and the neighboring Savoy property are listed for a combined $400,000 on listing agent Swisher Commercial's website. The deal does not include Savoy, only Pub 13. Talmer West Bank took over the property in early 2014 and dropped the price from $585,000 to $405,000 for both properties, while Pub 13 was listed by itself for $285,000. The two properties were listed at $990,000 in December of 2010. Tyler Weston said the 9,000 square foot bi-level space is still in solid condition and won't need to be gutted, though some work will need to be done to convert it into office space. He said it's in really good shape. There's not a lot that needs to be added or subtracted. More on the story on Pub 13's conversion on our website. I had a few good times at Pub 13. WDEETV.com with our local news links area. Coming up next, there is a story about graffiti being laid out in vacant Washtenaw Avenue buildings.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back to WDEE TV Headline News. We have another story in our rack of 5 for this Wednesday. Michael G. Nastos, my name, your reporter, and this story coming from the Ann Arbor News and written by Tom Perkins. Ypsilanti Township and police officials are investigating graffiti spray painted on several vacant buildings along Washtenaw Avenue. Mike Ratzik, the Ypsilanti Township's director of the Office of Community Standards, said several buildings in Ypsilanti Township were hit, and graffiti was also found on vacant businesses in Pittsfield Township and Ann Arbor. The former Pizza Hut, Farmer Jack, and Clark stations were tagged in Ypsilanti Township. Pictures of the graffiti were collected by the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office and sent to a regional agency that monitors gang activity to determine if it is gang-related, Radzik said. But as of now, officials have no concrete evidence indicating that it is. Radzik also said everything has been located, photographed, sent out to intelligence sources to see if it is in fact gang-related or some other form of artistic expression or vandalism. Graffiti remains on the buildings throughout the township, although the ordinance requires it to be removed within 48 hours. In recent years, the city of Ypsilanti and the city of Ann Arbor all dealt with rashes of graffiti in both cities and were able to catch those responsible. More on this story, art or not, at WDEETV.com on our local news feeds link. Coming up next, the battle for Washtenaw County, Michigan versus EMU in men's basketball. Welcome back to WDEE TV Headline News. For this day, we have a sports story coming up as we share Michigan with the world. This is written by Brendan F. Quinn from mlive.com and their website out of Ann Arbor. Standing tucked in a media scrum, Spike Albrecht tried to put it in perspective. He said, when was the last time Michigan lost a game when it held a team to 45 points? The U of M junior starting guard asked. I don't know, he replied to himself. The answer is of historic proportions with a 45-42 loss to Eastern Michigan on Tuesday night in Ann Arbor at the Chrysler Center. The 2014-15 Wolverines became the first University of Michigan team since the Truman administration to suffer such a defeat. Michigan, a 15-point favorite over the Eagles, although the Eagles are pretty good at 8-1, held an opponent to 45 points or fewer and lost for the first time since February 17th of 1951. On that day, it was a 43-32 loss to Michigan State. This time, it was more telling and embarrassing to a closer neighbor. The answer is in the offense. We just didn't make the shots we could have, but we couldn't get a lot of open shots, said Coach John Beilein about his team. The loss was a second shock to the system for Michigan, now 6-3 in 4 days at the Chrysler Center. On Saturday, the defense was the scapegoat in a 72-70 upset by the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Tuesday saw the offense come undone. EMU ultimately earned the win by eliminating the Wolverines' top three scorers, Karis LeVert, Zach Irvin, and Derek Walton Jr., who entered the night combining for 47.3 points per game on average, less than they actually scored in this game. They finished with 29 points on 10 for 32 shooting, including 4 of 16 from the three-point range. There's a lot more on this story. It goes deep at WDEETV.com on our local news feeds link. Coming up next, a WDEE TV Headline Music Report, Top 10 CDs, continuing to talk about them for this year.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
We're back with more from WDEETV.com, and this is our final segment for the day as we continue our features on the best jazz CDs released in 2014, today with an emphasis on younger musicians making contemporary and modern statements that should stand the test of time. This list, by the way, is posted on our website, Best Jazz CDs of 2014. These are my picks. All of these recordings are in my top 25 list, seen exclusively on our website. Michael Eaton's CD Individuation made my list not only as one of the best of 2014, but was voted in the NPR Music Poll as Best Debut Artist Recording. Originally from the Kansas City area, Eaton's tenor and soprano sax playing has a burly, dark, yet refined tone. It's modern, original jazz. All the compositions are his own, as we hear on this track, Prickly. Guitarist Samo Salomon has become a personal favorite of mine, and with each effort, his talent blossoms in different directions. Salomon comes to us from Slovakia, and on his recent recording, 2 Alto, he features dual alto saxophonists and no keyboardist or bassist. It allows the guitar and saxist to make their own rhythmic and melodic statements as we sample this cut titled Monderbag. While bass player Omer Avital is not a newcomer, his music is fresh, innovative, and speaks to a spiritual component. Born in Israel, Avital brings combinations of traditional and classical Jewish music, African sounds, and a lilting melodic jazz to the forefront. His exceptional CD, New Song, is in my top 10 for 2014. And here's a perfect example of his music. It's titled Bedouin Roots. Ibrahim Electric has released several albums, but their latest on the European Ilk label, Rumors from Outer Space, is a gem of organ combo, funk, soul, and refreshing galactic sounds rolled into one. It's also in my top 10 primarily because it's good upon repeated listenings. Check out this one, Tales from Zionus, wherever that is in whatever universe, from Ibrahim Electric. Finally, experience Maya Beiser, who plays the cello and interprets or improvises on rock and blues classics, if you will. Her CD on the Innovo label is titled Uncovered, and certainly one of the more unusual efforts of 2014. Here's Maya Beiser getting down on the Jimi Hendrix evergreen Little Wing. On Thursday, we'll go back to old school roots of jazz with some of the best historical CDs of this year. And that's WDEE-TV.com headline news for this Wednesday, December 10th, 2014. I'm Michael G. Nastos saying so long, everybody. See you tomorrow.